Time now for the morning rush. We start with breaking news. New details on a structure fire in southeast Albuquerque. Albuquerque Fire Rescue says the home is a total loss. It was abandoned, though, meaning there were no deaths or injuries reported. AFR says the fire broke out just before 5 o'clock this morning. New video into our newsroom shows smoke billowing out of the house there as firefighters douse out the flames. The cause of this fire is still under investigation. Of course, as soon as we get more details, we'll pass them on to you right here on KRQE News 13. State education officials are considering revoking the license of the Aztec School's superintendent over the handling of a sexual misconduct case. Teacher James Coulter was arrested in August after being accused of raping a 17-year-old Aztec High student years prior. The accusations were brought to the district in January of 2016, but the PED did not learn about it until May after a state investigator looked into a different matter. When the PED questioned the superintendent, Kirk Carpenter, he admitted that he did not contact law enforcement about the accusation. They're now looking to revoke his license. Kristen.
Next big weather maker doesn't move in until early next week. So for today, we're looking at mostly sunny skies across the state. No rain or snow to worry about. Taking into tomorrow, a little more cloud cover. Stronger winds expected across eastern New Mexico will raise fire danger concerns. Crystal?
This morning, an Albuquerque mother is asking for your help trying to organize a large search party this Saturday for her missing son. The boy and his friend have been missing for days now. Amanda Kimbrell is the mother of 15-year-old Colin Romero, and 14-year-old Ahmed Latif, though, is his friend. They were both last seen in a neighborhood near Hoover Middle School on Sunday. Police say a Snapchat video shows the teens being beaten up. The teens' Snapchats actually last pinged them near the Double Eagle Airport. That's where police continue to search. Police say an 8-month-old girl shot by her 3-year-old brothers in an induced coma. That's according to Gallup police officer Darius Johnson, who tells the Associated Press that the 8-month-old was being treated at an Albuquerque hospital and appears to have lost hearing in her left ear and will likely lose her left eye. Police say the baby's mom, Cheyenne Nelson, and her boyfriend, Tyrell Bitsilly, were in the shower at a Gallup motel when Nelson's older child found the gun and accidentally shot the baby. The couple is now facing child abuse charges. On to news, new at 6, Las Cruces City Councilors have passed a resolution asking state lawmakers to pass a right to die law. The vote is purely symbolic. Councilors are expressing their support for state lawmakers to pass legislation that would allow doctors to help terminally ill patients end their lives without the threat of prosecution. Las Cruces is the third city to support such legislation. Along those lines, legislation has already been pre-filed that would make physician-assisted death legal. The House bill filed by Democrat Deborah Armstrong is called the Elizabeth Whitefield End-of-Life Options Act. It would apply to a terminally ill patient over the age of 18. A doctor would have to determine if the patient has the capacity to actually make that decision. A new program by Albuquerque Fire Rescue is in motion to help address threats at businesses and at schools before they happen. Albuquerque Fire Rescue's risk management program aims to help high occupancy facility identify areas where problems could happen. How does it work? Well, AFR will walk the premises and then let managers or principals know what areas they should address because of possible vulnerabilities. Several new faces will soon be on the force. This as the 120th Police Cadet class is set to graduate today. Happening today, APD Police Chief Mike Geyer and Mayor Tim Keller are recognizing the latest graduates. 32 men and 1 woman are slated to join the department as sworn officers. Before they hit the streets, though, they will each complete a 16-week job training. Big congrats to them this morning. Kristen.
Today's Metro Threat Index down to 3. We've got some cold temperatures this morning in the 30s, breezy conditions at times, but the winds nowhere near where they were yesterday. Those will be about 10 to 20 miles per hour coming out of the northwest this afternoon. Crystal?
New details now. An Albuquerque family reunited with their beloved dog who was stolen from their backyard. The Valdez family dog Rambo was taken Saturday afternoon. Tips started coming in, including photos of a man in an SUV with what looked like an English bulldog. On Wednesday, a family member saw the SUV parked near Carlisle and Manal. APD says Rambo was inside with a man named John Young. He can now face more charges. We'll have details on that coming up in the 5 Facts. This morning, the city is asking the public to help them out by keeping city parks clean. Albuquerque's Parks and Rec department says they send a crew at least once a week to clean the park. But the next day, they're messy again. They're now adding things like more street lights and fencing. APD is also helping out with increased patrols and operations like needle pickup. You can help out by calling 242-COPS if you see any issues. All right, those looking to ski at Padito and Sandia are going to have to wait just a tad bit longer. Both ski areas are delaying their opening dates after they say there just isn't enough snow. Padito was scheduled to open tomorrow. Sandia was set to open December 22nd. Both say they hope to have the lifts running in the next coming weeks. Kristen.
Time now for a check on traffic. We do have one crash to relay to you this morning. This is Alameda and Jefferson. That came in just about 5 minutes ago, so use caution there. Everything else looks good. No major problems coming in at the Big I.
Listen to this. Major beer maker InBev is hooking up with the weed company Tilray to make pot beer. InBev, which makes Budweiser, inked a $100 million deal with Tilray to research cannabis-infused drinks in Canada. They're not alone, though. Other beverage companies like Coca-Cola and Pepsi have also said they're looking into cannabis companies as the sector becomes more popular.
We're taking you back 34 years ago on this day in New Mexico, 1984. We had over an inch of rainfall in Ruidoso. This resulted in flash flooding in that area, damaged roads, damaged a sewage plant in that same area. Cloudcroft picked up close to 1 3/4 inches. So a lot of rain on this day 34 years ago down there in southern New Mexico.
All right, time for the 5 facts.
We start with number 5. This morning, an Albuquerque family is waking up reunited with their beloved dog who had been stolen from their backyard. Rambo was taken Saturday afternoon, and after pleading for his return, tips started coming in, including photos of a man in an SUV with what looked like an English bulldog. That man and the SUV were spotted on Wednesday. APD was called and found Rambo inside. The man could be charged in this case.
Number 4 now, Senator John Sapien is preparing to introduce legislation next year that aims to do away with park testing for the 4th time. New Mexico is just one of 3 states that still uses park testing. The Albuquerque Teachers Union supports the bill, saying the test is just too long. If the bill does pass, it would go into effect for the 2020-2021 school year.
At number 3, still looking at warm temperatures today for December standards. 50s here in the metro. Breezy conditions, but not quite as strong as those winds we had yesterday. Sunny skies over the state. No rain or snow to worry about. At the earliest, our next storm could come in Tuesday, Wednesday of next week. Cooler temperatures to follow.
Number 2 now. This morning, an Albuquerque mother is desperately asking for your help as she tries to organize a large search party for her missing son this Saturday. Officials say 15-year-old Colin Romero and 14-year-old Ahmed Latif were last seen in a Snapchat video being beaten up. That video was taken in a neighborhood near Hoover Middle School on Sunday. Police say a Snapchat video shows the teens being beaten, bloody, and appeared to have broken bones. The teen Snapchat last pinged them near the Double Eagle Airport. If you want details on how to help out, go to our website, always on KRQE.com. Number 1 now, this morning, state education officials are seeking to revoke the license of the Aztec school superintendent over how he's said to have handled a sexual misconduct allegation involving a high school student and a teacher. That teacher, James Coulter, was arrested in August and charged after being accused of raping a 17-year-old Aztec High student years prior. The PED investigation found the accusations were brought to the district as early as January 2016, but they weren't brought to the attention of the state or police. According to its investigation, the PED was contacted in May when Aztec Municipal Schools filed the complaint accusing the teacher of falsifying a student's grades. That's when a PED investigator discovered allegations of possible sexual misconduct. When the PED questioned the superintendent, Kirk Carpenter, he admitted that he, quote, did not contact law enforcement about the accusation. PED is arguing that Carpenter's misstep should cost him his license.